The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Victor here, back with e-Coffee with Experts. And today, in this very sunny day, we're going to be talking a lot about SEO, as I know you folks love to talk more about it. But instead of actually focusing on backlinks, for example, or even black hat tactics, we don't have Craig Campbell with here yet. We're actually bringing Milan Savov, and he's the founder of SmartClick. But what about it? So SmartClick is here since 2018 to help you get inbound leads and SEO growth with around over 30% revenue increase. They have been working, Milan specifically has been working with SEO for over a decade, and he really knows what he's talking about. But instead of actually welcoming him and asking how's he doing, I actually do have a very bonus question here. We can get started already. Milan, and I'm actually going to read this. You say that there are only two ways to scale your B2B SaaS and get those warm leads and conversions. What are those two ways? Welcome to the show.
That's really strong question.
It is. I know.
So to scale the B2B leads and the leads through organic or through paid ads. So that's like in general, two ways. But there is a pretty big difference between those two. So the second one, which are the paid ads, is really good when you are at the beginning. You are still testing markets, you're still testing your audience, and you still can continue to do that after that, even if you get great results, great return of investments. Mm-hmm. But after that, when you want to scale much bigger, that's when organic comes into the game. So you have to think about how to scale your traffic without spending a lot of money on PPC, because there is like a trend for PPC to increase the prices. And then this is the organic game where you actually support all of the rest of the marketing channels by organic traffic. I hope that gives you like good answer for the first question.
It does, of course it does. It's in your bio of your own LinkedIn profile, which I invite everybody to click on the links down the description to follow Milan. So that's why I wanted to start already with this, because I thought it was a very good buy.
Yeah.
I think we can actually take this into consideration about PPC, how things are being handled right now, and start asking yourself, what's your view in the crowded SEO and web development space as of today? Because when you started SmartClick in 2018, it was a very different game, very much so. And we're not even talking about 10 years ago. It's crazy how much it has changed and it has evolved and how much it will evolve again. So my first question to you is, what motivated you to create SmartClick itself? Mm-hmm. And how did you envision it standing out in this SEO space that we're talking about right now?
Yeah, so what motivated me was mostly my background when I was a web developer before even having the agency. So I created websites, but I have no clue what that website actually means for the business. And does it actually drive a business to my customers at that point? And when I get more involved into the entrepreneurship, I started realizing that actually a great website will be great once it drives business, once it drives more leads. And I realized that the websites which I created were not really related to the business goals of my customers. They create like beautiful designs, beautiful websites, but I don't even have like a good buyer journey, like a good mapping of the whole content which they want to present to their customers. And that's where I realized that if you need to create a website and if you want to be a good one, then try to match out these two things from the very beginning. So do proper analysis, do proper keyword research, and based on that, you can create your structure of the website so it actually drives leads, increase your pipeline for the sales team and the revenue. That was like the biggest aha moment which I got at that point.
Did it change a lot? Because you're talking about the aha moment. And you had an idea, you had yourself, I imagine, several conversations in the shower about how things would turn out to be. Were you very wrong about your own predictions, or were you actually very much on point and everything that you thought about yourself and you thought about the market, whenever you were thinking about scaling your own SEO agency, were those thinkings and those ideas correct, or was it all very much a different game altogether?
It really depends, because Sometimes you make good decisions, sometimes you make bad. But the most important thing is when you make decisions, there will be maybe one which can make the huge difference between all of these different decisions which you made in the even in the years. So when it comes to the agency, I definitely had some bad moves, which is okay, but were like
It's normal.
really good learning lessons. But there were good moves. I'm still really confident in what we do and how to scale further. The time is really challenging because, as you mentioned, the things are evolving, but
So
it's still you have to be positioned somewhere. Somewhere has to find you when it comes to your service. So you have to position to present. And this is something which a lot of companies are struggling with, how to position their services on a best way for their products so they can be found and then they can generate like more customers.
actually, I think you brought yourself here a very good topic for us to talk, which is how the companies already come to you with an idea. And I'm pretty sure some of them don't know what they're talking about. And this is normal for every single space in every single agency. If it's an SEO, web development, PPC, influencer, there is this whole concept, which is a correct one, where if the companies don't know what they need to do or what they should do, they go to an agency, to a consultant, to a freelancer, because yeah, at least they know that they need help. My question
Yeah.
is, in a very general way, you don't need to disclose anything at all. What is the most common mistake you see these companies arriving at your doorstep, that they start talking to you like, hey, Milan, I am doing X and Y and Z, or hey, Milan, I think I should be doing A, B, and C, and then you're like, oh, they really don't know what they're talking about. Does this happen with you? Does the companies themselves are presenting themselves with this problem at your doorstep, or no, they come to you knowing that they need SEO, that they need to improve their revenue, and they just trust you because of your authority, because of your credibility?
Usually the initial problem which customers think that is actual problem, at the end it's not. So it's usually something else. And
That is that what happens.
it's really how open they are with us, so we can discuss like honestly about that and find out what the core problem is, so to start from there. So I think the most important is the mindset of the business owners who are really ready to solve the problem. And this is usually a mistake because people usually want to lead and act as an expert for a field, and they're looking for someone to do that for them. So if you decide to hire some agency, whether it's us or someone else, you have to give them freedom to actually show their expertise and help you to elevate on some bigger level. If you try to came up with the plan and everything else and you're not the expert in that field, just try to fulfill your ego, then usually it's like the biggest problem from the very beginning. So this is one of the main issues I'm facing with. And the other is usually people do like ask for a lot of proposals. So when you come to 10 places and ask for 10 proposals, you will get like 10 different solutions and they're confused. So instead of moving forward, they step back to analyze, to compare, and at the end, it's like a dead end, an infinite loop. So it's hard for them to actually find out what's the right way.
That
So
is true.
it's not about the other problems, but mostly like mindset issues.
And not only in regards to mindset issues, but right now, if we were having this conversation in 2018, there wouldn't be a thing called ChatGPT to help such companies. Now there is. And these companies, they first screen their ideas through ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They try and ask ChatGPT, usually naturally through any LLM you need to prompt it, right? This is a whole nother discussion. Let's pretend they just did the basic, prompted it in a basic way. And GPT said, hey guys, you need to speed up your SEO, you need to speed up your website, you need to do X and Y and Z. And then they come to you. What's your go to framework for building these SEO systems so that the customer will be happy that they went to ChatGPT and asked those questions and found you instead? Because I'm pretty sure that there might be, talking about mindset, there might be people who are like, I don't need a consultant. ChatGPT is here for me. Not only that, but you also have a lot of companies who are selling their AI solutions saying that you can replace an entire system with an LLM, which we know is not going to happen anytime soon. So for those that come to you, knock on your door and say, Milan, I was talking to ChatGPT. ChatGPT said me X and Y and Z. I want to hear from you. How do you prepare yourself? How do you present yourself as Milan, as the influencer inside their system in regards to what they should be doing about their
Yeah.
SEO?
Look, it's a bit different how I'm thinking about this and how I'm approaching. Because when someone who is a business owner but doesn't have expertise on this and go to ChatGPT and ask, I'm first trying to understand what he actually knows about
Perfect.
the answer which they get. So I will answer him, what do you think about it? What was the criteria? What did you search? So just try to go deeper and ask them what they think about it. And at the end, you will find out that they're pretty confused and they really don't know what actually that means for them. So if you try to educate your customer before they became a customer, it's also like a bad sign, because they will just collect a lot of information and again they will do nothing about it.
Yeah.
So it's usually good to sit with them again on a discovery call and discuss their goals, their current situation, desired situation, what they tried, what they like, what they don't like. And then actually, when you have all of this information about them, discuss about the solution and then put ChatGPT answers on site. Again, it could be good, but you don't know what they search for, what they type. So it's really like giving some solution for a problem which you don't know actually what it is.
That's actually a very good answer because it is also what I think. Coming back to these, I think we can actually go through a step by step of how a customer or how a company will find themselves whenever they approach SmartClick. So we just met, you and I. You just told me how you prepare yourself for such an initial conversation, but I want to know about how you and SmartClick are leveraging performance optimization to turn SEO into real growth.
Yeah.
We discussed this in the beginning of the episode where you even told us through your bio that there are only two ways. But let's go a little bit deeper. Are you actually working with SEO nowadays? Because there are different ways that you can work. There are different fronts that you can prioritize. There are different things. And usually you can even tell me like, Victor, this is a case by case scenario, of course, because depending on the company, they need more backlinks at first. Depending on the company, they need to sort their social medias and connect to the web page. There's always going to be something different. But in a very generic case, how are you leveraging this optimization itself?
Yeah, so first, as I mentioned, we have like a really good discovery call with the customer, so we understand the current situation and desired state. Once we have all this data, then we have like a call where we actually go a bit deeper in the roadmap, in the potential which they have in the search and the LLMs. And again, if it makes sense for them, we're proceeding further to discuss the process. The process usually is digging deeper into couple of analysis. It includes technical analysis, technical SEO, content analysis, keyword research, and everything related with the content. The competitor analysis, where we find out who are the best in the game, who are right now in front of them. So we try to actually leverage what's missing in the competitors. And then there is the backlinks audit, so find out who actually are talking about them on the site. Once we have all this clarity, it's like the blood test. We know where the business is right now, what are their goals. At that point, we're presenting like an action plan with the top priorities. What is the first thing which they need to fix, second thing, and then the next step is actually we call it the transformation stage, because once we have the analysis, we help them with the execution of it. Usually this is a part which is missing in other companies. They provide you analysis, but don't help you with actually implementing that. So this is the thing which we go through together. If they have their own team, they can also be part of it, but we can complete it together, help them re-optimize their website, mapping the content, fixing the buyer journey, the technical part, and so on. And once everything is set up, then we start by implementing the strategy, which includes new content creation, new blog posts, if there is a need of backlinks and so on. So, and besides that, we constantly follow, is there any technical issues in the meantime, which are following up, like health monitoring. So there are a lot of couple of things which I'm not mentioning, but my team is actually doing all of that in behind, because there are 5-6 people who work on each of the projects, and it's like pretty custom solutions for everyone. Because as you mentioned, not everyone needs everything in the very beginning. So it really depends what I actually have now, what's the top priority which has to be fixed and implemented, and then continue to actually grow that.
That is not only true but something where we're talking about it now, it looks so basic, but not a
Yeah,
lot of agencies do, right? That's the thing. Like it looks so like given, like everybody should be doing this, but no, they don't.
it
It's
is
it's
basic, but I think the alignment between the teams is really important, and the regular meetings, because when more people are involved, you have to follow some bigger strategy. It's like it's part of the marketing. You have to know the biggest marketing strategy, and then you align with that. So there is a good connections between SEO and the rest of the channels.
perfect. I think my next question can be very much tailored to what we're just discussing right now, which is delving a little bit more deeper into the process itself. Is there any metrics that you and your team like to share more with the other side of the screen? Like, is there, and I'm not even mentioning method as I was just talking about, not link building, black hat, white hat. No. Is there any metric that the founder should obsess over or something that they should be looking even more deeper that actually aligns with business outcomes, not just vanity metrics?
Usually our customers are mostly interested in the MQLs. So how much MQLs are generated through the website. So this is like the main KPI which we set up, but together with their teams, there is like CMO or some marketing director who is communicating directly with us. We sit up together at the end of this first stage of the analysis, and we set up a KPIs. What are the main pages? What are the main keywords which they want to follow and track? So this is like something which is discussed all of the time. And there is also, like, if you found so many new opportunities which are not in the main KPIs, we again suggest to put that if it's aligned to their goals. And usually we have like a huge report which is 24/7 accessible for the customers, so they can follow it.
Right.
And it's really like something which they like because it's fully transparent. And then again, on a big bi-weekly or weekly meetings, we discuss with them what's achieved, what are the results, is there anything which we have to align again with the marketing strategy, with the SEO strategy, and what are the next steps which we will take to have the success in the strategy. So this is usually how the reporting goes.
Most of the customers that you work for, they are in the SaaS market. Is that it?
Yeah.
And talking about the SaaS market, then, whenever they are battling SERP competition, which is a very big battle that they face every single day, do you usually point them towards a strategy that will separate them as winners compared to the rest, which will be then seen just as noise? And I'm very sorry because I know that I'm asking you a lot of things that, again, the answer will always be depends on the case, depends on the customer,
Yeah.
depends on what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's just again so that we can have a broader idea of how you think, how SmartClick thinks. So again, is there a strategy that you know that usually and generically speaking works best to separate the winners from the rest of the people or not?
There is no one size fits all, to be honest. So
Perfect.
again, depends on the analysis. Then we find out which are the places where we can have some quick wins, some long-term wins, and so on. But there isn't any which works for everyone.
If there was, we
If it
wouldn't
is,
be here.
it will be so easy.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if there was. There wouldn't be the need of us here.
And ChatGPT would know that.
Exactly, exactly. So I think I got it covered in regards to the basics, and I don't want to ask you anything again that would drive us towards it depends. So why don't we talk a little bit more about SmartClick itself, not SEO related, not marketing related, but about your agency, and why is that? Our audience consists of a lot of agency founders, people that work in agency, people that are starting their own agencies or want to scale their own agencies. So whenever I have somebody here with a proven method of how to raise an agency, I also like to ask those more smaller detailed questions that will still make a difference to those that are watching and listening to us. So my first question in regards to this is, what's your current tech stack in the agency? Not about SEO, but about customer interaction, about making sure that you are being found across the market, the sea of agencies. What are you guys doing at SmartClick to make sure that whenever somebody visits your webpage for the first time, they will be like, okay, this is very nice. Let me contact them.
So what I'm trying to do is to elevate my name and the brand's name on a higher
Perfect.
level. And this is again attending on podcasts like this one and a lot of others. I found out visiting events is also pretty important.
For me, it's number one. If I can tell you
Yeah.
this, for me, the biggest results comes from events. That's for sure.
But I figure out something which I didn't know before. Right now, when I go to events, it's most like try to build connections with people, to build relationships, not to
Not to
pitch a
sell.
service.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other people are trying to pitch you in 5 minutes and they are still like people who you don't know. So if you
Mhm.
try to make connections, stay close with these people, and then if there is a chance to work together, then the best cooperations happens. So my advice to people who go to events is always just try to make relationships, not to sell right now. And also the other thing is we try to organize events or be panelists somewhere. So this is also increasing the authority of the agency, of the brand. The other thing is just be present on the social media.
Mhm.
I'm running my channel by sharing mostly personal stories, not just
Oh, I like this.
yeah, so personal story, personal experience, some client wins time to time, but not so much pushy content who will be related to the customers. I also do that, but not so frequently. And I found out that people are connecting with you on a personal level first, and then they will become a customers. So if you just share advices on SEO, you can find it everywhere in ChatGPT and Google.
Yeah.
But if you share your story, how you overcame something, how you made mistake for something, and usually mistakes are better performing posts than wins. So on that level, you show up that you're vulnerable, you're not perfect, and they connect with you. So these are some like things which we do besides everything inside.
Whenever somebody asks me more about sales in the SEO market,
Mm.
I always tell them the same thing, which is why are you bothered so much with making sure that the guest posts are following Google's guidelines by bringing authority, by making sure that everything's written perfectly, but you're not applying those same rules to your own personal branding? People should start seeing this more and more. The way we dictate SEO today can be so much applied to our own personal branding as a whole. Google wants us to do what? To write stuff with authority,
Yeah.
not AI generated, that will add to somebody else's lives. This is what we should be doing whenever we're talking about ourselves as an
Yeah.
agency, as a
Yeah.
company, as a salesman, as an entrepreneur. But again, it's another. I think if everybody were to do this, maybe the market would explode because everybody would be then having such an authority. Nobody else will have an authority anymore.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
thing, and I feel like you have been through this. Whenever I go to these events and I am looking at the panelists, one question that always comes to my mind is how did they come up with that topic? Because people come up with such an amazing cluster of topics to be discussed in a panel, in an event, where Victor here have no idea where to start. So since you even brought it up, how are you getting those topics to be discussed on an event? Like, how is your research process to make sure that you're not only going to be talking about something good, but also going to be talking about something that people will stick to the room and will want to connect with you after the conference is done?
Uh, to be honest, I don't have huge experience in public speaking, but
Same, don't
I
you
will
worry.
share you. I will share you on the last 2, 3 events how I came up. So there
Please.
was one event here in the country which was like more focused for HR. It's called HR Disrupt.
Hmm.
And when I heard the word HR, I related directly to I was on a course for NLP, and there were like meta programs which we all of us have, which are related to how we recruit people. So how to
Hmm.
find better candidates. At that point, it clicked me out that it could be like a good topic to share, and I just developed the script. What do I want to present to the audience so they have some actionable steps? So it's like for me, it's like coming something natural at the very beginning. There was another event with a people who has businesses, who doesn't have. Some of them has websites, made them couple of times, but still don't have like the good results from the website. So I spoke about what to do before even considering creating a website. And it gives them actionable steps, how to choose wisely when next time they will decide to create a website. And also we spoke in front of SaaS audience here in Macedonia, where we share like actionable steps, what to do so you can optimize your website for LLMs and for search at the same point. So you have better results on two fronts. Like, so I'm trying to define what to understand what the audience is looking for when they come and give them something practical. So they don't just hear like theoretical things, but also hear from experience what we do, the results which they could expect after that. So
Nice.
this is like my philosophy if you want to share something.
And how do you prepare yourself to not be nervous when speaking on a stage? For some people, it's a nightmare. I have a very big friend of mine. She was the first ever guest in the show, and she freaks out whenever she has to speak. And then immediately after it's gone, she just loved the idea of being a speaker on the stage. So I know it's a thing that we sabotage ourselves before we go on stage and we start thinking about, oh my God, they will laugh at me, they will hate me, they will leave the middle of the speaking itself. So many things can happen. But how are you preparing yourself to block those auto sabotage moments where you would be untrustworthy of your own self?
Before, I had some belief, it's like limiting belief that I don't have something to share to people. And that made me nervous. And after that, when you found out that you actually have something to share and it's valuable, and there are people on the other side who actually are waiting for that to hear that, then
Yeah.
it's like mindset shift. So you're standing in front of people who is waiting for you to share something and it's valuable for them. At that point, you know that you're sharing valuable knowledge that you give. So I think it's some blocker which holds you. And once you overcome that, it's much easier because you know that you're giving something.
That is true. And not only that, but from my experience, of course, during such events, we get to learn so much stuff in such a short window that sometimes you arrived in such an event with your whole mind set towards a topic and a conversation. And then you go to the bathroom, and while you're washing your hands, you talk to somebody who gives you 10 words, but those 10 words change completely what you were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So everyone here differently.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of going to events. I 100%,
Yeah.
1,000%, a million percent agree with you. If anybody who's here with us, watching and listening, and are considering the idea of going to an event and talking to people, don't be nervous. Of course, it's a moment where the extroverts can shine
Yeah.
faster because it is most of their mood and environment, but everybody can shine in an event. Everybody can leverage something. A contact partner, you can maybe start a new business altogether by meeting somebody in an event. Such a crazy world, such a crazy
Once
moment.
I tried, this is only for small groups of people. For example, if you have 10 to 15 people, once you end the presentation, just ask each one of them what's the biggest thing which they learned from the presentation. And you will see 15 different things which actually they learn. But again, when each one of them share that, they will learn from each other's learnings. So it's really nice experience because you did one presentations for everyone, but they all just figure out only one thing which was the best for them.
Yeah, I'm smiling just reminding myself of the people that I met on events. It's definitely a must go. SEO events are amazing. I was in one 3 months ago in Vietnam. It's called SEO Mastery Summit. It will happen again next year. I highly recommend anybody to go visit Vietnam for an SEO event. Yes, I think it's an amazing excuse to go to another corner of the earth to meet new people and nice people. But we learn, and by learn, I'm not only talking about technical learnings. I'm not talking about you learn so much about how to do SEO. No, you learn so much about how to behave, about how to talk to customers, talk to partners, integrate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And this is definitely, you're very much on the right track by making sure that SmartClick and Milan are being known through podcast events and everything else. I commend you very much about it because it is a good strategy, which then comes to my last question. Milan, we know about how it all started in regards to you and SmartClick. We know how you like to work. We know how you like to operate the agency by itself, and we know how you like to promote yourself. So what's next for you? What in your head, whenever we're talking, I'm not even going to talk about 5 years from now because I'm not even sure if we're going to be around 5 years from now. But, for the next year, for the next cycle of Milan, is there something in your mind that you're like super excited to talk about, some topic or a new project, a new upgrade, something that we can also learn from you here?
Yeah. So recently I started within our like premium offer. I was thinking a lot what I can add like additional value for our current customers. And I came up with an idea to create like a closed group with all of them at one place.
Oh,
And
that's
it
a nice one.
has huge value because each one of them are like owners of or CMOs to companies who generate over 50 million, some of them, and they share really, really valuable lessons between. So this is something which I'm passionate about running it. They open so much, they share their wins, their challenges, so they give advices, each one of them. When it comes to SmartClick, what we plan to do in the next period is focus a lot on AI because it's where the world
Yeah.
goes. So we want to be as better as possible and adapt to the changes as they are evolving. And when it comes for me, I am really enjoying what I do because
Nice.
this is something which I really like. So we will just maybe have more units with different teams in the future because when we're in the SaaS game, we notice that people have issues with positioning, go to market, and then sales. So maybe these are something which I will add as a separate units in the company in the next period.
And I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure you're gonna kill it. Have no
Yeah.
doubts in my mind. No doubts at all. Milan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story. As I said at the middle of the episode, we have so many watchers and listeners here that will for sure find themselves in your shoes or even picture themselves in your shoes. That once again, I highly recommend everybody who's still here with us to follow Milan and the links down the description below if you're on YouTube and if you're on the podcast apps. You will also find those details in the description of the episode itself. Milan, this has been us. Thank you so much again for coming to the show. We
Thank you,
wish you
Victor.
all the best and catch
Thank
up
you.
the next time with you all. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you.